Branch Head, Ahmedabad and Indore, Knight Frank, India. Make some noise for Rumit, Parikh. Can we please have Mr. Parikh over here on stage? A bigger round of applause, please. Thank you so much. Good to see you once again. I'll request you to take your seat. My first speaker over here with over 10 years in real estate. He brings a youthful energy to Collated Ventures, where he leads sales and marketing, partnerships, people and culture in the firm's service arm. He also co-founded Terrazzo, a fintech company, reimagining how people invest in alternative asset classes and how real estate investing can be democratized through asset tokenization. Ladies and gentlemen, the partner from Collated Ventures, Aniruddh Jhaveri ji, please. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Mr. Jhaveri. Thank you. My next speaker over here with over 19 years of professional experience in corporate operations and business development, he plays an integral role in driving the growth, strategic development and daily structural orchestration in the Gift City. He manages business operations, strategic business development and process optimization frameworks, and his key focus areas include streamlining complex business processes, contributing to policy frameworks and assisting in new global domestic entities. Ladies and gentlemen, General Manager, Business Operations, Gift City. Make some noise for Harsh Gandhi, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Gandhi, for joining us over here. My next speaker over here is an architect and planner from CEPT Ahmedabad and is widely recognized for driving sustainable, climate responsive and energy efficient architecture all over the country. Under his leadership since 1977, his firm has built a massive portfolio of over 2,000 successfully executed projects across India, covering residential complexes, institutional spaces, commercial hubs, transports and sports infrastructure, and a lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder and principal architect, Hiren A. Gandhi and Associates. Mr. Hiren Gandhi, can we please have Mr. Gandhi over here on stage? Thank you so much, sir. What an absolute pleasure to have you over here. Can you give him a big round of applause, please, everybody? Hiren ji ke liye, thank you. Thank you. And my next speaker over here, ladies and gentlemen, founded in the year 1981, S.J. Sangath is one of the Gift City, Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar's most trusted real estate developers with a legacy of over 45 years, delivering 40 plus landmark projects and 4,000 plus homes and commercial units. Driven by commitment to quality, sustainability, architectural excellence, and customer satisfaction, the group develops thoughtfully designed residential and commercial spaces at strategic locations, seamlessly blending modern infrastructure with green living to create enduring value for its customers. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder, platform, co-working space, managing director, S.J. Sangath Group President, NAREDCO, NextGen, Gujarat, Sarang Jain ji ke liye please bajaye zor se taali everybody. Mr. Jain, thank you so much for joining us over here. I'll request you to take your seat. Thank you, and over to you.
Looking forward to have a good insight from all the speakers which we have today. So it's an interesting subject, which is Gandhinagar 2035. I think today discussion is particularly timely with Gandhinagar celebrating 61 years of completion on just 2nd of August. So before we begin, I would like to share an interesting coincidence. So if you add the digits of 2026, it formally comes to a total of 10. And further adding it, it will be 1. If we look ahead for 2035, if you again add it, it will be 10 and the total is coming to 1. So while it's just an interesting numerical constant, I think it beautifully reflects today's theme. As we discuss Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar and Gift City, we are no longer looking at them as 3 separate destinations. It is one. And they are emerging as one integrated economic ecosystem, followed by one growth corridor and one unified vision. In 1965, the foundation of Gujarat's new capital was laid on the banks of Sabarmati, a city that was not just an administrative headquarters, but a bold experiment in planned urban development. Designed in the tradition of Chandigarh sector by sector, with green covering accounting for nearly 54% of its land area. Over 6 decades, Gandhinagar earned its own identity, the green city, the unpolluted city, and more recently, an emerging global hub for governance, innovation, and investment. Today, Gandhinagar is no longer defined solely by government offices. The emergence of GIFT City has played the region on the global investment map with over 1,000 entities now registered at GIFT City IFSC. IFSC banking assets crossing $100 billion today. Gujarat's newly launched GCC policy, which is 2530, targets 250 more GCC units, over 50,000 jobs in GIFT City, and the Gandhinagar corridor at the center of that ambition. Metro connectivity, expanding airport access, and improving highway infrastructure have effectively made Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar function as one integrated urban region. And the real estate market reflects this transformation. Residential property values have recorded a 120% rise over 6 years, rapidly into highest appreciation rates in the country, while demand is diversifying rapidly into grade A offices, mixed developments, hospitality, and lifestyle infrastructure. The next phase of city's life journey will be defined by how successfully it balances rapid growth and with thoughtful planning and sustainability, mobility, livability, and housing diversity. So, the first question while we jump over to the vision of 2035, who better than a developer can answer? So, Sarang, it is for you. Sangath has been developing projects across Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, and GIFT City for many years. So, how has the emergence of GIFT City changed the residential and commercial dynamics of Gandhinagar?
Great question, by the way. So, we've been in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, GIFT City for over 4 decades now. And, back in the day when my father used to do projects, every time we did some project in Gandhinagar, it was always looked upon as a city where you're going to find a lot of acquisition or money coming in from the government babus or, the institutional setups of universities that we have, or people who are looking for silent, peaceful, ekant wala, residential space. Although ever since the inception of GIFT City, the things have really changed. Today, with the, like you very well said, the global capability centers, the GCCs, the fintech companies, the financial institutions, the tech companies, with so much happening inside GIFT City, we are not limited to just that. We are looking in a lot of money coming in or end use coming in from across the world. And it could be NRIs, it could be people living in Ahmedabad. Now, it has all boiled down to how well we are connected, and I think nothing is as well connected as GIFT City and Gandhinagar like they are, in my opinion.
Sure. So I think what you mentioned today, earlier it was told that, Gandhinagar is too far from Ahmedabad, if we look at it. So now it has transformed into one city or one corridor which has come up. As per you, what could it look like, if we are probably sitting in 2035? What is your thinking on those lines?
See, number one, the far bit, in my opinion, it depends on the unit you use to measure it. Is it minutes or is it kilometers? That is the most important question that you need to answer. Ajni Tariq, is everyone comfortable with Gujarati here also? Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So સૌથી વધારે મીટર છે ને સમયનું હોય. मीटर चालू समय का होता है ना? So how Gandhinagar is connected to Ahmedabad or GIFT City is with predominant major roads. You are looking at 60-meter wide roads, 80-meter wide roads. If we were in any other parts of, let's say, internal Gandhinagar or Ahmedabad, the roads are not as wide as yet. Yes. With the new joint development schemes that are going to come our way, I think that is going to change also. But how I see the shift is, there is a lot of us as developers, we do construction of building, right? But that is not just limited to that. Now we have to build communities. Pehla Gandhinagar was always looked upon as a residential possibility or a residential hub. But Now it is being looked upon as a complete ecosystem.
Yes.
Right? It is being looked upon as walk to work, like how Gift City has been planned, right? You live here, you walk to work, you come back to work walking, you are kicking in your steps, staying healthy, you have all the possible social infrastructure. So I genuinely think that it is going to be the entire Tri-City, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar and Gift City is going to be the global corridor in the coming, by 2035 in my opinion.
Sure. So as we heard the developer, I think let's hear about the perspective from the architectural point of view. So Hiren sir, when we speak about any of the future ready city, we often think about technology, but from an architect's perspective, what actually makes a city future ready? Is it smarter building, better public spaces, climate resilience, or something else entirely?
Yeah, so, we have to understand that city is for people. City is for people to live, to enjoy, to prosper, to get something better in life. That's why people migrate to the cities, right, from the rural areas. So, what happens is that, unfortunately, most of the time, what has happened to the Indian cities is that we have a skewed development. Skewed development in the sense that we have very shiny, tall buildings, and we have one place to other which is, very good. I mean, individually places. But if you see in between is a complete mess. We do not have good footpaths to walk, good street furniture, good signages. So, I think the most important part, because the city's identity is not with its buildings alone. When we used to study in architecture in 70s, whenever these professors from outside, they will come, they will always say that you have two beautiful places like, say, SEPT and NID. But you look at in between. That's what they always used to say. So, and I'm talking of 70s, and it is still true.
Correct.
I mean, you have beautiful places, but what do we have in between?
Yeah.
We really introspect,
Yes.
And that is what is lending the character to the internationally famous cities, that it is seamless.
Sure.
The experience is seamless.
Yeah.
Because you go from one place to other, it's not like you are feeling, bhai, ઘણી જગ્યાએ આપણે અહીંયા નથી તો you feel કે અહીંયા તો ફોરેન જેવું લાગે છે. પછી બીજી જગ્યાએ જાય તો કે આ તો આપણે આપણા દેશમાં જ આવી ગયા.
True.
So that what I feel is very important because see, with all the enterprising developers and Gujaratis having great business acumen, we are definitely going to have development.
Of course.
We are going to have more FSI, more high-rise, more dense development. But then in the whole process, we should not miss out on this human aspect.
Sure.
You move in Manhattan, for example, even small nooks and corners between the buildings, how beautifully they are landscaped, and how beautifully people are sitting there enjoying those spaces, whatever little they are. But that's what we are missing. So that vision has to be kept in mind even in 2035.
100%. Thank you. Moving from a developer's perspective, from a architect's perspective, I would ask Aniruddh something on a very different line of what he looks at Tarazo on a tokenization perspective. So, Aniruddh, Tarazo is operating out of Gift City, IFSC, and working on tokenization real-world assets, including real estate. For the audience here, can you explain simply why asset tokenization matter for a city like Gandhinagar and what it unlocks that traditional investment structure don't?
Sure. Thank you for having me. Realty Plus, Rumit, thanks. So for people who don't know, we wear two hats. One that of a developer, where we build mindful buildings, like Sir said, trying to see how it can weave into the public infrastructure and the urban ecosystem. The other, and we're always learning, so it's a continuous process, sir. The other is an innovative way to invest and participate in real estate for investors who otherwise don't have an access to real estate. So that came out of a vision saying that how can we make real estate investment frictionless and inclusive. So, and we said, okay, in theory it is fine, and asset tokenization by definition is, if I had to define it, it's nothing but a fractional way of investing and using blockchain as the underlying technology to manage that investment journey, to participate, to trade, to manage dividends. So it's nothing like it's no different than how you have Reliance share, which is sliced up, but you're still an owner of a Reliance, right? And you can say I own part of Reliance. So this is I can own part of this building or this part of these buildings and see the appreciation from the ground up. So for developers, it becomes a very innovative way because most people would agree that real estate and urban infrastructure are highly capital intensive, and real estate and hence they're always starved for capital, and there's so much that the bank can finance, right? So you have to find these innovative ways of funding where you can, it acts as a fundraising mechanism. And as for your question, Gandhinagar, Gift City, we've been in the sandbox. We've funded one of our projects through asset tokenization. And we found a way where people want to participate and be in the journey with you and for the investment landscape. And I think how Gandhinagar is positioned with all these marquee projects coming up, including in Gift City, and there are a few SEZs around, in the Tri-City corridor also. I think it is a very potential, it is a high potential way to finance and bring efficient capital in the system.
Fantastic. I think something new which we heard upon, and as most of us are surrounded in terms of discussing more and more about Gift City, who better than Harsh can speak about Gift City. So Harsh, over the last few years, we have seen increasing interest from global financial institutions, fintech companies, GCCs, and multinational corporations. What, in your opinion, differentiates Gift City from other emerging business destinations in India, and how are you positioning it to attract the next wave of global investments?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. First, I'll answer that. What are the major factors which are driving this? Some of the global participants, global institutions, occupiers in Gift City. I'll briefly give 3 pointers. There are many, but I find these three are the major important. First, the state-of-the-art infrastructure. Gift City was never a real estate project. It was always positioned first as an infrastructure project. The thought process was that before the building comes up, we should be ready with our infrastructure. So Gift City develops the infrastructure and it ensures that it reaches the building line before the building is ready. And the infrastructure in Gift City is a very unique infrastructure. Some of the infrastructure that we have observed and adopted from the other global financial centers. Like we have automated waste collection, we have district cooling system where the chilling happens through a chilled water. There is an underground utility corridor, 7 meter by 7 meter almost, which carries all the infrastructure. So there is no digging within the city. So some of the infrastructure is at a very state level, and you will see this infrastructure at a building level or at a township, but not at a city level. So we are in that way positioned that we have the smartest infrastructure at a city level. So that is what, you will find this kind of ecosystem in Gift City, whether you are in SEZ area or in domestic area. Second, the Gift is the only place that has got the status of IFSC, International Financial Service Center. India host is first and made an IFSC in Gift. Gift has an SEZ area which has been accorded this status by Government of India through Ministry of Finance. So all those offshoring business, which was earlier happening outside India, now has been brought onshore. And this, no better than Gift IFSC is the only jurisdiction which allows this kind of transactions and activities. So any activity which are falling within this IFSC regime, and it has to come to gift IFSC. Nowhere in India, in mainland India, this kind of activities are permitted. So this is a very unique proposition and a very USP of gift, which is driving a lot of global participants, occupiers, everyone to come to Gift City. Third, a very proactive and a supportive from the government, the state government, the central government, everyone has been very proactive, and they are driving this project at a national level, not only at the national level, but at an international level. We are able to, these are the main catalysts which are able to attract a lot of participants, institutions, global, nationally as well as internationally. Additionally, we are also doing a lot of outreach programs. At our end, also in consultation and in joint force with the state governments, just like Vibrant Gujarat is now coming up. So there will be a lot of road shows and outreach programs. Recently, we had a visit at the Davos. Now, I think it's going to be in US and Canada. So these are the major outreach programs where, now Gift City is very much poised to take it and scale it to the next level.
And I think the single window clearance which you guys have is an advantage, if you want to highlight on.
Yeah, so not only for the developers, it's a benefit for everyone. GIFT provides some of the basic USPs which you won't find at a different city level. One is the ease of doing business. It's not only for the occupants, but also for the developers who are coming there. For them, the major challenge is how much time, money, energy, and resources they have to devote after getting all the approvals. Here in GIFT, we have a single window clearance. So we have the height clearance, we have the environmental clearance, and all the utilities are up and running, so you don't have to chase anybody outside GIFT for any kind of approvals. So that saves a lot of time, money, energy, and also the ease of doing business, and we promote walk-to-work concept in GIFT City. So it's not about only commercial. Yes, it is predominantly commercial, but it is going to be backed by residential and some of the best social infrastructure, which will make it a very integrated development.
So,
sorry, I would like to add something. So conventionally in Gujarat, we are looking at municipalities or urban development authorities. Even on paper today, Gift City is a developer and we are co-developers. So that plays a very important role. Gift City operates in a very corporate and an organized fashion. You are not going to 10 other people, right? You are just going to that one urban development authority called GIFT UDA, which is also in a very corporate organized fashion. So it makes it life much more easier as a developer around there.
So, to you only, Sarang, while you mentioned Gandhinagar has historically been a residential market driven by government employees and Ahmedabad spillover, kind of. That dynamic shifting rapidly as GCC demand and Gift City growth add commercial complexity. As a developer active across the segments, how are you thinking about the balance in your current pipeline, and where do you see the bigger opportunity by 2030?
Hello. So, great question. But when we talk about commercial and residential, I think these are both real estate. They are not competing against one another, in my opinion. It's a classic chicken egg situation. लोग काम करेंगे तो लोगों को रहने के लिए घर भी चाहिए, और अगर रहने के लिए घर है और वहाँ पे मज़ा आ रहा है तो वहीं पे नज़दीक में ऑफिस भी चाहिए. It's a total ecosystem, in my opinion. What will change, in my opinion, is how we as developers are providing our products or putting across what we are doing. Today, your customer base with these GCCs, with these financial institutions, with these tech companies has also changed. Back in the day, buying home was an experience that started at the age of, let's say, 35 to 40 ka age. Now your home buyer is also fragmented to a lower age. Now we see home buyers coming from the segment of 25 to 30 very commonly, because the pay scales are better with such institutions that are working inside Gift City. So people are looking for what happens after we deliver. It becomes all about services. Now these people, they care about how the society is going to be managed. So that becomes the commercial aspect of it. Now building residential is also like running a hotel. in a lot of fashion. I mean, I'm working with Rumit bhai on one of our projects. They are managing the facilities there. They do it fantastically, and we've not heard any bad thing about what they do. But we can't look at it as two competitive aspects. I believe it's a total ecosystem, and I would also like to push any developers who are around here to look at any project that you all are doing as a complete ecosystem. You want to introduce more and more commercial and residential to feed the requirements in a balance, in my opinion.
Sure. So, Hiren sir, ultimately a city's future readiness rests on whether talented people want to live there. Gandhinagar has natural advantages, greenery, cleanliness, lower density, but does it have the cultural infrastructure, the public spaces, the streets worth walking, the things that make a city magnetic for a 28-year-old GCC professional choosing between Gandhinagar, Bangalore and Hyderabad? What does Gandhinagar need to build that isn't a building?
See, coming back to the earlier point which I made, that a city has to offer for every generation, right? From the child to the elderly, everybody's needs should be satisfied. Now, when like he was mentioning, that the pay scales are becoming better, people are economically, doing well. That means then you also start having spare time, right? Why do many of the youngsters, of course they work very hard abroad, but why do still so many people prefer to go? Because they have Saturdays, Sundays completely off. They have lot of other avenues like sports facilities, cultural events happening, music events happening, so many things. And of course, we don't have bars, unfortunately. So that's, but I mean, it's a kind of a recreation, right? So the thing is that if we really want to attract this population, which are, and mostly these are again nucleated and small size families, So, and both husband and wife may be working, you see. So you have to understand what is the need of that generation. And those, and like what we were talking about Gift City, let's say, that ultimately things are walkable. That means you don't make a special effort to take out your car and go to a destination where you spend another 1.5 hours to reach that. So therefore, the whole approach of the city planning has to be such that these facilities are very much integrated along with the, whatever development is happening, and those are easily available to the people. Other thing which we are normally ignoring is a larger population which is not that much well-to-do. And that's why we have this affordable housing, and we have EWS and LIG and other houses. I recently did one project for Guda in Sargasan, about 1,200 flats. So again, for this segment, they also want to be part of the city, and they also aspire for, better schools, better all infrastructure. So again, government has to consider that how, because usually what is happening is many of the places are now going out of the pocket of what people can afford. Any dinner costs you not less than 3,000 rupees per person. So everybody is not able to afford. So you need all kinds of places. And that is when the city, it's like you need a 5-star and you also need a lariwala.
I agree with you.
So
Sure.
Unless everything is built in a holistic way, the city will not be, otherwise you will still have those, shanty sheds and even, slums. So if you want to really talk of what Gandhinagar should be or will be in 2035, then unless there is a total holistic approach like this, you may not achieve it. You may just have some very fancy pockets, but then rest of the thing.
Sure, thank you. So Aniruddh, through Collated Ventures, you are building co-living, co-working, senior living, and experiential retail in this market. These are the product categories that Gandhinagar real estate has historically not seen. What's been the market response? Is the occupier base here ready for these formats, or you creating demand rather than meeting it?
So Rumit, I think, like Sarang said, that it will always be a chicken and egg. I think so we've always been in kind of known, and particularly Shan, I can't take the credit, but differentiated approach to real estate development. And when apartments were not there in Ahmedabad, Bombay જઈને કહીએ કે apartments અહીંયા અમદાવાદમાં કોઈ દિવસ આવશે તો 1995માં he launched an apartment scheme that was costing as much as the bungalow. તો લોકો કે are you crazy? Why will people buy? But then of course now we see it is the new normal, right? So I think similarly we've done senior living in Gift City. We have co-working spaces. We've served the Sanand ecosystem with serviced apartments like expat housing. So I think what we've learned is that you need to be patient. Patient capital. If you are a developer who is into, I would say, earn and churn, and you're serving hot money, that doesn't work. I think we'll have, really, and this, every capital you're serving will be high expectation capital. So it has to be patient, number one. Second is, I think one has to look at it from an ecosystem perspective, really thinking about public infrastructure, like Sir said, having a balance between your parks, your schools, your hospitals, so, and ensure that they come in a certain amount of time. So I think Gandhinagar is now, with the ambitious projects that the Gift Cities team is carrying out, I think they are developing the whole riverfront, which is an ambitious project. It will really be the entertainment spine of Gandhinagar and probably Gujarat. But looking at office leasing, 50% of office leasing is, or maybe more, is captured by GCCs. And even so more now, the larger chunk is being served by co-working players, right? So these kind of differentiated approaches will be useful. Recently, someone announced a senior living project in Gift City as part of Gandhinagar, and I think it's Gandhinagar being a city where it's more known as up till now, a place where people retire. There's clean air. I think it's the best.
Or a Babu city. Babu city.
So I think Gandhinagar is ready. I think we'll have to just change the lens a bit and say that instead of asking, are you ready, saying, are we ready and do we have the patience?
Sure. Yeah, please, Sarang.
To add to what Hiren sir just said, bar's situation, Aniruddh is really working very hard to solve that problem. I don't know if I'm allowed to take names, but can I take a couple of names that you all are pulling in?
Yeah, sure.
They are bringing in K's with a bar, right?
Yeah, so some of them has some of them has bars. I think Bastion is already coming in, and I think a lot of support from Gift City. They have about 25-30 good restaurants lined up. I think you are doing. Why don't you talk about the August? I think one of the. They're hosting the Restaurant Federation of India, where they're inviting 100 plus restaurants to show the potential of Gift City. I think it's really working as a good PPP model where in the private capital, infrastructure, and the right incentives are coming in.
But is Swati, I don't know if it's the right place, but is Swati with the bar a true story that we've been hearing?
Chan is coming on after a couple of hours. You can ask him. And so, sugarcane juice, yes. I don't know about fermented sugarcane juice.
Sure, I think interesting. Harsh, as we are discussing on this theme of 2035, what role do you envisage for Gift City playing in shaping Gandhinagar's economic growth, employment generation, and global positioning over the next 10 years?
Yeah, Gift City is a classic example of, if you have a clear long-term vision, and if it is backed by a solid execution and monitoring, how it can shape up. This is now GIFT City, Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, it's a tri-city model. So we are not saying Ahmedabad is different, Gandhinagar is different, GIFT is different. It's all well connected and it's a tri-city model. So what happens in GIFT is not just restricted to GIFT, the spillover effects goes to Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar both. So GIFT is just the first economic engine. It is now, I'll say, the economic engine which is actually fueling Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad. Currently we have more than around 1400 plus entities working in GIFT City, registered in GIFT City. The current employment is close to 25,000 people, and going forward by 2030, we are envisaging more than 100,000 people. If we go by the potential that we have for the development in GIFT City, it will go even further. So what this suggests, we'll have a lot of investments, we'll have a lot of infrastructure coming over here, we'll have a lot of growth in the economy, we'll have a lot of employment opportunities, we'll have a lot of talent pool available, because GIFT in Gujarat has a lot of reputed educational institutions, particularly in Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. So we'll have a lot of talent pool over here. So all this is going to fuel the growth, not only to the GIFT, but also to the Gandhinagar also. Also, we'll see Gandhinagar predominantly is not just the administrative capital, but it is also having a unique advantage that with this, it will become a center which is connected to the financial and technology hub. So it's a twin advantage for Gandhinagar to be, so it will get a unique positioning. Specifically for Gandhinagar, I'm saying. Ahmedabad is having a financial capital for the state, but Gandhinagar has an added advantage of this. And this is what I see that, GIFT is just a beginning, and if this can extend to Gandhinagar, whatever problems that Hiren sir has identified, I think that can be taken care. It is already been taken care at GIFT City level. Lari and वो नहीं है sir, लेकिन बाकी सब है.
Sure. So as we are almost about to conclude the panel, just one headline to all of you, that if imagine we are sitting here in 2035, what headline you would all like to read about Gandhinagar?
I think global urban ecosystem, not just for India, I mean it global, because like GIFT City, how it is being placed and the 90-meter ring road that is coming along, if you really geographically look at it, with that, GIFT City becomes the center of Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar with that 90-meter ring road. So we are going to see a total urban development, and I think sir would be able to shed more light on it. But it is going to be the global corridor, global ecosystem of 2035.
I think Sarang somewhere read my mind and he said the global ecosystem. I'll have to think of something else now.
Sir, how about you? It's just one headline.
Yeah. So I would say that it should retain the original title of being the greenest city in the country, not only in the country but in the world. So if it retains that title, that will be the success story. Because other things are definitely going to happen. But still to retain it as the greenest city will be the greatest achievement, I think.
So I feel it is the greenest city, it is a planned city, but I see in 2035 as a more smart city, as a sustainable, with a well aligned with the urban ecosystem.
Sure. How about you, Aniruddh?
No, you said headlines, so I'm going to put my, kind of media hat on and say, I read 2 newspapers. So if I'm reading a more finance-based newspaper, it is exponential, not incremental. And if I'm going to, a generic newspaper who wants attention, say, Dubai plus Singapore equal Gandhinagar, the new frontier of Asia. They say, no harm in dreaming big, right?
So I think I thank you everyone here, for a fantastic panel. And by any chance, if any of the audience have any questions who can be asked to our esteemed speakers, happy to have that question.
We have heard that Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar are being a greater Ahmedabad. So what will be the name of Ahmedabad? Ahmedabad will be the greater or Gandhinagar will be greater?
Who would like to answer this? Very tricky.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very tricky question, sir. I don't know who we want to please. We have projects going on in both the regions. but जो भी होगा, sir, it'll be fantastic. It is something that we all must look forward to.
I think just to give a narrative on it, probably anything will be greater is going to be greater for the people who will be there. So I think Tri-City is something which will make this more balanced.
Please pass the mic to him. We'll take this as the last question.
Like, my question is to Aniruddh. Like, the concept of tokenization is really intriguing. So, I was trying to study the concept. So, right now the framework is into a sandbox. So, when can we see the concept getting into mainstream, and can we see more of firms like Terrazzo into the market of tokenization?
Sure. Like you said, and your research is correct, that we are still under a sandbox. So people who don't know what sandbox it is a environment where controlled experiments happen. So in case there is some kind of positive or negative findings, they can be contained within that. And usually they are done with the idea that policy should follow. So we are working with the regulators, both with IFSCA regulators, and I believe there is a lot of movement in the center as well. So eventually this is a form of digital security, right? So it has to be governed by the securities laws, which is either SEBI or IFSCA. And similarly in the US, SEC does it. In Singapore, it is the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So I believe we've been in the journey since now a few years. We have also advocated for now the regulation to now take Terrazzo to the next stage. We are also forming a panel or an association that can represent interest, which is not again biased but a very unified interest to now advocate for regulation. And I think recently we have Mr. Fadnavis also speak about how tokenization can anchor the investment and bring for Maharashtra. So similarly, I think there's a lot of movement. So I'm bullish. I would say within 12 months is my hope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the questions. Thank you so much for all the wonderful discussion. Give them a bigger round of applause, please, everybody. I'm going to request all of you to please remain on stage and wait. And I'm going to be requesting the presence of, ladies and gentlemen, can we please have Mr. Moxit Shah, co-founder and director from Housivity, to please kindly come up on stage and give the token of appreciation to all of them over here. Clap it up for Mr. Shah as well, please, everyone. Thank you. Yes, now on a countdown of 1, 2, and 3, everybody, yes. That's the magic that you can create. These are all stalwarts in their field. They deserve every bit of the acclaim and recognition coming their way. Thank you so much for adding so much of value to the conversation. We look forward to hearing all of you the next time when we do this.